soul like Paul to the Damascus. Now I'm on the block, wearing my robe and cup on the mattress to repent and turn back to the ways of the Most High. Better rallies in the midst of us, watching with close eyes, cause they know the power in this word. But those dry bones, if they infiltrate us, but this a no-fly zone. Fearing no man, no evil come up against us winning, unless you in the midst of sinning. Keep your commandments. You want wisdom, seek understanding. We Israelite, we equals, bragging on Esau. Educated, no tuition required, debating top scholar. What's a chihuahua to a rock waller? Yahweh, Mahashem, Yahweh, shot a rock and thigh, I.S.U.P.K, breaking heathens and cowards, got 1,000 deaths to the 2/3 cast in the lake of fire. All because you hate the Messiah. Liars, your second death is eternal. The book of life, you ain't written here, cause you was never sick to sin. Wow, since a child born, I know you took the spin. You were purpose for wickedness as a captive. That's why you first breath I took in life too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the deal. Influenced by money with every sickness reveal. I won't pay back from the dollar bill. Remain calm as the pressure feel. Die to endure until I let this pump select my phones in memory and empty till. I only live through my master's will. I.S.U.P.K, motherfucker. Ain't no cowards on this battlefield. God is straight but made greater. In my return, left to my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't move unless it get approved. Or take a step till they get confirmed. All it takes was made for high stakes. Much like a tape. One step from the time safe. My people sick in their head. Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak. Bring hell and the crackers can't escape. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. No more payback for the scars and enslaved memoirs. The I take that snap. Ignore the lies. You're only free will left before your mind. It's like what
battery is near empty. Time to recharge.
my fellow eventually wake with my eyes on the sparrow, and I pull the trigger while my lips kiss the barrel. For I never let a white bitch do me like a fellow. Going out this swinging life like Romello. By any means, this devil pulling strings like a pillow. Lay hold on this rebel roller. I swear I never let go. And fuck that silver school. Got too much love for the devil. And the score seven with EV, I die for the cause. Just to hear the angels of love. And I'm true by every word I say. Cause I know my victory on the way. Nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my knees go hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this hard and it feels so much? And why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with the niggas. Boy, I gotta be hard, but I can't give up. On my knees go hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this hard and it feels so much? And why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with the niggas. Boy, I can't be touched. Can't do any clutch. They hate but they can't You right there. Hey, Shalom Alone Christ Israel. This is Officer I.S.U.P.K out of Kentucky. This is the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yohanna. Started out of 1 West Harlem, New York. And tonight's topic, we are gonna go over World War III is on the rise. Alright. And tonight we got some heavy talking points we're gonna go over. You understand? We're gonna go over this World War III that's on the rise. You know what I'm saying? This war that's going on over there in Russia and Ukraine. You understand? We're gonna go over the history of the wars that America has been in. You understand? We're gonna go over the little history of the what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. We can go over a little bit of that history as well, and what we should do to prepare ourselves for these times that are coming. You understand? And what our concerns should be as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans about what's going on over here in this area. And you know, of course, we're gonna bring out them scriptures and get it in real heavy. All right, so let's go ahead and clap it up. All right. Since 1969, you understand. Well, I ain't since 1969, but the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yohanna has been saying that World War III was going to come, and you know, Russia was going to be a part of that, and you know what I'm saying. And even when everybody thought that was crazy talk, you know what I'm saying. You know, Commander General Yohanna stood strong, and you know, with the truth and everything that was said, we seeing is coming to fruition. All right. Let's start with Matthew 24 and verse 6. You understand? Because the I.S.U.P.K has been telling everybody that this was going to happen, and yes, this is the beginning of World War III. This isn't actually World War III just yet, but it is coming up. It's coming up quick. Okay, with all the stuff that's going on across the world, it's coming up real quick. Whenever you get there, go ahead.
I will comment. It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven.
Matthew 24 and verse 6. 24 and verse 6.
So like you said, come on.
Sorry, take your time.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's like literally all we've been hearing. I mean, I know my whole lifetime, that's all we've been hearing is talk about wars and rumors of wars. You understand? That's literally all we've been hearing about, and that's literally all that we're seeing. You understand? With I mean, the last 20 years, America's been at war with Afghanistan. You understand? And that's all we hear about is wars and rumors of wars. Go ahead, read it again from the top.
God. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Hell, it's like ever since America has been established, America has been at war. You know, you understand? I don't think America's ever had any peace. You know what I'm saying? That's all America's ever known is war. You understand? And the way the media is portraying Russia, you know what I'm saying? America is no different than Russia. America uses the same propaganda, the same lies, the same stuff to do the same things that Russia is doing to go in and conquer land and all that. I mean, if you just think about it, the way America was established, and then they teach us today that
Christopher Columbus founded America. You understand? And it was already millions of people here, but they say it's taught to us that Christopher Columbus founded America. You understand? But Christopher Columbus came over here and slaughtered the natives. You know what I'm saying? And enslaved the natives and took them back across the lands to all the European countries and stuff like that. So America's always been at war. That's all America knows is war. You understand? America slaughtered 177 million Native Americans just to steal this land to call it America. You understand? And that is savage and evil and just barbaric. You understand? And the way they're talking about the Russians, the way they went into Ukraine and killing civilians or whatnot. You understand? I mean, you know, the Native Americans was a peaceful and loving people. And Christopher Columbus came over here and slaughtered and enslaved the Native American people. So you understand, there's America has no room to talk about anything that Russia is doing, because America is no different than Russia. You understand? Go ahead, read that again from the top.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Go ahead.
See that ye be not troubled.
See that ye be not troubled. You understand? We've been hearing of wars. I mean, 36 years old. I mean, I've been hearing of wars ever since I can remember. You understand? I mean, we've been hearing of wars, and America's been in so many wars. America's been in 102 wars. You know what I'm saying? Since 1775. That includes like the Revolutionary War, all the Native American wars, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. You understand? We can get into more specifically some of those a little bit later. But America, that's all America knows is war. Go ahead with this scripture.
Time. Matthew 24, verse 6. For all these things must come to pass.
All these things must come to pass. Everything that's right, all these wars, rumors of wars, and the actual war, it all has to come to pass. Go ahead.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end just yet. What number is it?
So like I said, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
For nation shall rise against nation, and that's what we're seeing going on. America or Russia and rising against Ukraine. Russia against America. China against America. You know what I'm saying? Russia and China against America and NATO allies. You know what I'm saying? All these nations are rising up against each other. You understand? And all the like the Arab countries now, they, you know, a lot of these countries are looking out and looking out for home and looking out for themselves right now too, instead of trying to lend hands or help out. Didn't America want the Arab countries to do something with the oil, and they told them, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Nah, we ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted China to speak out against what Ukraine is doing, but they like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. Verse 7. And kingdom against kingdom. All these nations are rising up against each other. Everybody's getting, you know what I'm saying, getting the Most High's putting this spirit on these nations and spirit on these heathens, and this war is coming. This war is coming. It's inevitable. This war is coming. Go ahead, keep going. Read through 8.
Verse 7. And there should be famines.
There should be famines, like COVID-19. There should be famines everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Well, not too long ago, wasn't it a bunch of grasshoppers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There was a story about all the grasshoppers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? All these famines, all these different strands of COVID. All these things are happening. Sicknesses. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is happening. Go ahead.
God. Verse 7. And pestilence.
All the bugs and stuff like that. Go ahead.
And earthquakes.
And earthquakes. In diverse places, like earthquakes in diverse places. We getting earthquakes in places we ain't never seen earthquakes before. You understand? We getting tornadoes in the middle of December in places that ain't never seen tornadoes before. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
All this is the beginning of sorrow. This is all just the beginning. This is just the beginning. It's going to get much worse. And it's going to get much more and much worse. You understand? This is just the beginning. Go ahead, drop that. That article that I sent you. It's in your messenger. The American timeline. Because what we need to understand is as a people, when we see blacks and Hispanics talking about all that, we should invade and help Ukraine. We should. How can we just sit back and let all these women and children die? And all this for these Ukrainians. You understand? But America has been at war with blacks and Hispanics and natives, and it's like indigenous people since the beginning of America. Since 1492, when Christopher Columbus sailed that ocean blue, has started war on blacks and Hispanics and natives, and has oppressed and enslaved and murdered and just done the most horrific things to our women and children. You understand? Using our babies for alligator bait. Throwing our babies on the concrete. You understand? Throwing our babies down cliffs. Throwing up against trees. A little game in the fair was hit the little nigger baby. You understand? They've had no regards. This oppressor has had no regards towards blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, black women and children, or men. You understand? So, it's kind of sad just seeing our people talking about, oh, let's pray for these people. We got to intervene for these people. Where America has always taught blacks and Hispanics and Natives that you're not American. You know what I'm saying? That Constitution doesn't fall for you. You're not American. Your vote don't count, and it shows year after year after year. You understand? And we sitting here having pity and everything for these. They've never showed that pity for us. Russia nor Ukraine's never went to United Nations on our behalf, talking about how America has been treating blacks and Hispanics and natives or since 1492. And it's just sad to see our people have so much compassion for people that hate them. That will never share that same compassion for us, and that's why blacks and that's why we are going to be ruling this world, and that also goes to show that this oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because this white on white crime, you know what I'm saying, no humanity towards blacks and Hispanics, but yet blacks and Hispanics still had that humanity when it comes to white on white crime. We still had that humanity for the oppressor. Our sisters will still walk up and brothers will hug the person that murdered their brother. Or you know what I'm saying, Bellis will rub the hair of the woman that shot this brother that just was sentenced to 10 years and start crying. You understand? We Christianity has completely destroyed us as a people. We have been completely beat down and destroyed as a people, and it shows that we, you know what I'm saying? It's like right there at the bottom, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like right there, that one right there. There you go. Yeah. Go ahead with the article.
American wars, timeline, major wars involving the U.S.
Now, this article is about all the wars that America has been involved in. Well, not all of them, but the major wars that America has been involved in, and it shows the right there. It shows like a timeline and history of all the savagery that America has also done. Go ahead.
18th and 19th century American wars timeline. The United States was officially established with the original colonies fight to win independence from Britain and the gaining of territories from Spain. Ultimately, the U.S. was involved in 5 major wars throughout the 18th and 19th century. American Revolution from 1775 to 1783, sometimes referred to as the Revolutionary War or the War of American Independence.
This is July 4th. Every July 4th, make sure you keep your hand on that so I don't. This is what you celebrate every July 4th, 1776, America's freedom. When in 1776, blacks and Hispanics and natives were still in chains, were still in bondage. You understand? Go ahead.
The struggle, most commonly known as the American Revolution, led to the establishment of the United States of America as a country. Before this, America was ruled by Great Britain and paid taxes to the British government. As a result, Britain sent troops to the American colonies, and the war began in earnest in 1775. The United States declared its independence from Britain in 1776. Ultimately, Britain surrendered at the Battle of Yorktown in 1781.
So America goes to war for their freedom. Meanwhile, they tell blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, you need to vote, you need to march, peaceful protest. But America went to war to gain their freedom. Go ahead. And blacks and Hispanics, we celebrated every July 4th, but our people were still in bondage. Our babies were still in chains.
That's right.
But yeah, we want to pray for and feel bad for the babies over there suffering white on white crime. Has nothing to do with us. Go ahead.
The war was officially ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783, when Britain officially recognized the independence of 13 American colonies. These colonies were declared independent states, and over time, the U.S. has expanded to 50 states.
And in that expansion of them to turn into the 50 states, they stole the land of the Native Americans.
That's right.
They stole land from the Mexicans, and then told them you crossing the border, and now you're an alien when this was originally your land. Go ahead.
Right. War of 1812 to 1815. The War of 1812, sometimes referred to as the Second War of American Independence, was also fought against Great Britain. This war came about because Great Britain was interfering with the U.S.'s ability to trade with France. The imprisonment of thousands of Americans into the British Royal Navy and the British support of Native American tribes along the Great Lakes. the U.S. declared war on Great Britain, which had already been at war with France since 1793. The war was primarily fought in Canada, which was then under British rule. American political leaders believed that winning a war against Great Britain could lead to the U.S. being able to annex Canada. The war went on for 2 years and ultimately ended in a draw.
Annex basically meaning take.
Kind.
Annex basically means take. Go ahead.
Kind. The nations signed the Treaty of Ghent in 1814 and ratified it in 1815, signifying the end of the conflict. Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. In 1845, the Republic of Texas became part of the U.S. treaty, had previously been part of Mexico before becoming the Republic of Texas in 1836. However, the Mexican government refused to accept the act. The Mexican government refused to accept the annexation of Texas and launched an attack against U.S. troops. As a result,
Mexico wasn't going for it. Man, y'all ain't finna take nothing. And they attacked. Go ahead.
As a result, the U.S. declared war on Mexico. The U.S. prevailed in the Mexican-American War, which ended in the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848.
Since 1775, I mean, there's not been any years of peace. America has been at war literally every year since 1775. Really, technically, Slovakia before 1775, because with all the Native American tribes and all the wars between the so-called pilgrims and the indigenous people. There was tons of wars. We're gonna get into a little bit of that later. We're gonna talk about some of them wars. Go ahead.
As a result of this war, the U.S. gained control of areas that later became the states of California, Nevada, and Utah. The U.S. also gained the land that became part of several other western states, including Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming.
Which all that was part of Mexico to begin with. All that was. Go ahead.
Civil War, 1861-1865. The Civil War was fought between the southern states and the northern states of the U.S. This war occurred because the southern states disagreed with the plans of President Abraham Lincoln and the federal government to halt the expansion of slavery. These states seceded from the Union and became the Confederacy. The war was fought between Confederate states and Union states.
See, this right here too, white on white crime. You know what I'm saying? Northern white people warned against southern white people. Go ahead. Over slavery, over having blacks, Hispanics, and natives, men, women, and children in chains, working for free, building this nation. Go ahead.
The war was fought between Confederate states and Union states, with the Union ultimately prevailing. Confederate forces surrendered after spending 4 years fighting the most deadly war the nation had ever experienced.
This is the most deadly war this nation has ever experienced. Fought in America between northern whites and southern whites about keeping slaves or not keeping slaves, or not really not keeping slaves, because the North didn't really care about not having slaves, because there were slaves also in the North. You understand? But the North more so, Lincoln more so wanted the slaves to save the Union. Didn't care about freeing any slaves. That's a whole nother topic, though. We'll have that topic another day. Go ahead.
The practice of slavery was abolished following the Civil War.
it wasn't abolished. It was really transferred to being on paper and written in the laws. But that's also another class we'll get into later. Go ahead.
Spanish-American War, 1898. In the late 19th century, Cuba was a Spanish territory and desired independence from Spain. Conflict raged between Spain and Cuba from 1895-1898, which led to economic and political instability in the region. Since the U.S. traded with Cuba, they expressed interest in getting involved in the conflict, which angered the Spanish. When a U.S. battleship mysteriously exploded and sank in Havana Harbor, the U.S. decided to intervene by offering Spain an ultimatum for Cuba's independence. In response, Spain severed diplomatic relations and declared war on the U.S. The U.S. prevailed in the Spanish-American War and effectively put an end to the influence of Spanish colonial rule that had affected the Americas for centuries. The war ended.
America's been at war with France. Has been at war with Britain. Been at war with all the native all the indigenous tribes of the land. You understand? America has been at war and it has been doing the same thing that Russia's doing 600 plus years. You understand? I mean, it's been ever since, you know what I'm saying, Columbus landed here in 1492. They've been doing the same thing Russia's doing. What, the last 13 days? They've been doing it for 13 days. America's been doing this for over 600 years. Stop it. Keep going.
The U.S. prevailed in the Spanish-American War and effectively put an end to the influence of the Spanish colonial rule that had affected the Americas for centuries. The war ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1898. As a result of this war, Spain surrendered Guam, the Philippines, and Puerto Rico to the United States, and the U.S. annexed Hawaii.
Stole Hawaii. Go ahead.
20th century timeline of American wars. The U.S. was involved in 5 major wars during...
That was just the 19th century. You know what I'm saying? That was just the 19th century. We've done the 18th century. We did that. Now we're on the 20th century. It's more. We got more. This is all these America has been at war for the last what's that? Last 4 centuries? Last 4 centuries, America's been at war. Even before that, going back to you know what I'm saying, the stealing of the indigenous people land. You know what I'm saying? War, committing war acts against our native brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
The U.S. was involved in 5 major wars during the 20th century.
5 major wars during the 20th century. Ain't a century just 10 years, right? A century, I'm not tripping, right? A century is 10 years. You understand? During the 19th century, during 10 years, you understand, America was in 5 different wars. Go ahead.
Early in the century, they got involved in World War I, the first Gulf War in the Persian Gulf region of the Middle East was the last major war of the 20th century. World War I, 1917 to 1918. World War I, also known as the Greatest War, was one of the biggest global conflicts in history.
So like a century is 100 years. A decade. Hold on. Google that real quick. You know, I got it. Go ahead. Oh yeah, I want to say that. I think that's 100 years. A century would be either 50 or 100.
I think a century is 100. A decade is 10.
That's alright. Keep going. I'll figure it out. Alright, Google it.
The war began in Europe in 1914, but the U.S. didn't formally enter the war until 1917, after President Woodrow Wilson urged Congress to declare war on Germany. This was due in part to Germany's failure to abide by its agreement to stop its submarine war against the U.S. in the Mediterranean and North Atlantic. Germany had also been trying to convince Mexico to join them in solidarity against the United States. The U.S. became part of the Allied powers, which included Britain, France, Japan, and Russia. The Allied powers were victorious over the Central Forces, which included Austria, Bulgaria, Germany, Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. World War I ended with the 1918 signing of the Treaty of Versailles. World War II, 1941 to 1945.
1940. Yeah, that was a decade is 100 years. A decade is 100 years. Slovakia.
World War II started in 1939 after Germany invaded Poland on September the 1st. However, the U.S. didn't officially get involved until Japanese forces attacked at Pearl Harbor. Congress did not delay, declaring war on Japan the day after Pearl Harbor was bombed, December 8th, 1941, just a few days after the U.S. declaration of war on Japan. Germany declared war on the U.S. The U.S. became part of the Allied powers, which also included Great Britain and the Soviet Union, who had already been entangled in the war since 1939. Germany, Japan, and Italy formed the opposing Axis powers. Ultimately, Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945, after multiple cities were firebombed and their dictator Adolf Hitler committed suicide on April 30th, 1945. The war was officially ended on September 2nd, 1945, when Japan formally surrendered following the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Korean War, 1950-1953. The Korean War, also known as the Korean Conflict, began when the army of North Korea, a communist country, invaded South Korea. North Korea's goal was to conquer South Korea and join the two nations together as one under joint communist rule. The Soviet Union, or USSR, also played a significant role in the conflict, providing medical services, pilots, and aircraft to aid in North Korean Chinese forces. This aided in the mounting tensions between the formerly allied US and USSR. The United States led a United Nations effort to aid South Korea in its fight against North Korea. The UN forces included troops from a dozen countries. China provided assistance to North Korea after the conflict ended in a stalemate. The Korean demilitarized zone was put in place to establish a buffer zone between North Korea and South Korea. Vietnam War, 1959 and 1975. The Vietnam War was fought between forces representing the communist countries in Southeast Asia, led by North Vietnamese against South Viet-Salaki. The Vietnam War was fought between forces representing the communist countries in Southeast Asia, led by Vietnam against South Vietnam and other countries in the region that were not under communist rule. The U.S. was involved from the very beginning, initially providing on-ground training for South Vietnamese forces. The U.S. became one more directly involved VIA Special Forces, ground troops, and airstrikes. The U.S. used Agent Orange, a toxic herbicide and defoliant chemical, against North Vietnamese forces. The U.S. completed a lengthy withdrawal of forces in 1973, and the war officially ended in 1975. North Vietnam prevailed. After the Vietnam War ended, Laos, Cambodia, and South Vietnam became communist states. The Gulf War, 1990 to 1991. In the Gulf War, dubbed Operation Desert Storm, the U.S. headed up coalition forces authorized by the UN. This coalition included troops from 34 nations working together to accomplish the goal of liberating Kuwait from Iraq. In the summer of 1990, Iraq was able to overtake and occupy Kuwait. In just a few hours after a UN embargo and sanctions were unsuccessful, the next step was military force. The coalition was victorious in their efforts, which involved air and ground forces. Kuwait was liberated. Though Saddam Hussein regime remained in power in Iraq. 21st century timeline of American wars.
Now we're in the 21st century, and again, America has been in war here, either here in America or somewhere else, ever since America has started. There's not been a time when America hasn't been in war, in a conflict, or something. You understand? Go ahead.
21st century timeline of American wars. Through the 21st century has many decades left to go. The U.S. has already been involved in two major wars.
Two major wars. Well, this talking about Afghanistan and Iraq, right? Yeah, this is the last 20 years. I mean, here we've been living through the last 20 years. America's been at war. Last 20 years, and there's still what 80 years left to go in this decade. Go ahead.
War in Afghanistan, 2001 to 2021. Dubbed Operation Enduring Freedom. The war in Afghanistan began shortly after 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. in 2001. The goal of this military action was to remove Al-Qaeda and the Taliban forces from power in Afghanistan. The Taliban quickly retreated and collapsed. The Taliban leaders Osama bin Laden escaped. A transitional government was put in power. Reconstruction began and major combat operations had created by 2003. Forces remained to provide aid and assistance as progress was made. However, widespread insurgents remained in the country. Osama bin Laden resurfaced and was ultimately killed by U.S. Special Forces in 2011. Troop withdrawals were announced soon after, but then, years later, instability remained, as did a significant U.S. military presence. The U.S. government planned to withdraw all U.S. forces and allied troops by August 31st, 2021. However, the Taliban and allied militant groups launched a broad offensive through the summer of 2021, ultimately taking over Kabul and thus the country. On August 15, 2021, the last American military aircraft left Afghanistan. On August 30th, officially ending the U.S. military presence in the country. Iraq War, 2003 to 2011. Following the 9/11 terror attack, the U.S.-led coalition forces.
And just like it, and if I could real quick, with this Iraq and Afghanistan war, nobody knows why we went in. What are we going in for? To get oil or something? And then we left. Like nobody knows why we went and invaded Afghanistan. You understand? Like, and then for us to be worried about what Russia is doing. Like again, America is no different than Russia. America is no different. They do the same thing. They use the same guerrilla war tactics and everything. They the same people. Go ahead.
Following 9/11 terror attacks, the U.S.-led coalition forces against Iraq in 2003. This military action was initially named Operation Iraq Freedom, then renamed Operation New Dawn a year before the end of the conflict. After diplomatic attempts with Iraq dictator Saddam Hussein proved ineffective, U.S. President George W. Bush declared war with Iraq on the basis that Iraq was part of an axis of evil that also included Iran and North Korea in the process of building weapons of mass destruction. The Bush administration launched massive air strikes on Iraq, and Hussein went into hiding shortly after the first attack. The U.S.-led coalition successfully overthrew the regime of Saddam Hussein, who was captured, put on trial, and ultimately sentenced to death. However, conflict continued with insurgents who were resistant to establish of a new government in Iraq. The U.S. started reducing its forces in 2007. By the end of 2011, all American troops all American troops had exited the country. Thus, the war officially ended in 2011.
And when that happened, it left all chaos. You understand? So we seen on the news, Afghanis trying to hold on to the plane and thinking they was finna hold on to the plane all the way back over here to America. Like, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Around that same time, they passed that Refugee Act or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Allowing all the Afghanis in. You know what I'm saying? When or no, they used the Refugee Act to let all the Afghanis in. But what was it like? What was it? A couple months right before, or maybe like a month or two before that, they met the Haitians at the Mexican border with force, and then allow the Haitians in. You understand? The Haitian people, with thousands of people, fled from a war going on in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? Where the president was killed. You know what I'm saying? Gang violence is taking over Haiti. You know what I'm saying? People are dying. You know what I'm saying? People are fleeing out of Haiti. But they was met with brute force. But yet, you know what I'm saying, they let, the Afghanis let in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to talk about doing something for the Ukraine people. All the women and children dying. That's sad. But nobody said anything for the Haitian people that was met with brute force by America at the Mexican border. Nobody said anything for them. But yeah, everybody want to be all up in tears and worried about what's going on in the white on white crime that's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Man, stop it. The Christian church has completely destroyed us and kept us weak as a people. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all we seen is black and Hispanics talking about what they want America to protect the Ukraine people, Ukraine refugees. Why we need to intervene? We need to do this. Well, first, I mean, America has showed us that we black, Hispanics, and indigenous people are not part of America.
Right.
So why when we sitting there talking about we, you know what I'm saying? Now them, they, this they fight. This ain't got nothing to do with us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody bats an eye when we get shot down in the middle of the street.
Right.
Nobody batted an eye. The last 600 years, blacks, Hispanics, and natives have been oppressed in America. Nobody batted an eye.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got the internet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody across the world see what America is doing to blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Nobody saying nothing. Blacks, native Mexicans are still locked up on the border.
That's right.
Babies locked in cages on the border. You understand? Nobody's talking about let them babies out. Nobody's talking about that. But they talking about the Ukrainians. Let's pray for Ukraine. Let's stand for Ukraine. You understand? Let's pray for our troops. You know what I mean? What we pray for our troops? What we praying for our troops for? You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives want to feel bad for Ukraine, but you understand? Like again, none of these other countries have ever felt bad for us. Have never stood in for us. Have never batted an eye for us in the way that America has treated blacks and Hispanics here in America. Nobody ever says anything for us, but yet every time we always on the front line cheerleading, help them to this, help them that, help them this. That, I mean, we get left out of every damn thing.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? With civil rights, I mean, shit, everything get involved in civil rights now. Feminist movement, the LBC, the Elemental P movement, all, you know what I'm saying? All these movements, and then again, black Hispanics, and Natives get pushed to the back of the bus again. With everything, whether it's the war on blacks and Hispanics here in America, or the war in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? The war in Russia that started in Ukraine. Niggas are still put in the back of the bus. You know what I'm saying? We still get put in by our own people. We put ourselves back in the back of the bus. Because we more worried about what's going on with everybody else than trying to fix what we got going on with us. You understand? Again, none of these other countries have ever said pray for blacks and Hispanics in America.
Right.
I never seen a Ukraine repost on Facebook or anything talking about, hey, free the Mexican people you got on your border. That was their land to begin with. You understand? Nobody's saying let the Mexican babies out. Nobody's saying that.
Right.
You understand? And then on top of that, the Ukrainians show they hate you. You understand? When when black people, whether the actually Negro or African that's over there in Ukraine, run, you know what I'm saying, trying to running in refugee, trying to get to safety, just like you. Y'all are discriminating against them.
Right.
They're running with you, trying to get away from the same stuff you trying to get away with. But yet you don't have no pity or no sympathy for the black people that are there for you. But yet so many blacks and Hispanics want to have sympathy for these people over there, which and they're showing you they don't like you. They hate you too. They hate you just like America hates you.
Right.
They're showing that to you, but yet we never want to wake up and smell the coffee. If it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, God damn it, it's a duck.
That's right.
You understand? Nobody said nobody said nothing for the Haitian people that fled out of Haiti, fleeing from the you know what I'm saying, the president getting killed over there and all the chaos that's going on. Nobody said anything for the Puerto Ricans that suffered from the natural disasters over there in Puerto Rico that got screwed out of getting relief funds from America and other countries. You understand? Nobody saying nothing for the Puerto Ricans over there. Nobody saying nothing with all the Hispanics on the border. The ones coming up from the South Americas, Uganda and all them countries down in there. Nobody saying nothing for them when they trying to come into America and find a better life, just like the Iraqis was. Just like all the, you know what I'm saying, everybody else that come into this place try to find a better life. You know what I'm saying? But they get met with a stick. You know what I'm saying? They get met with the rod. They get met with they don't nobody want to pray for them. America don't want to open their doors for anybody black or Hispanic. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That, hey, let the Ukrainians in. Let the Afghanis in. Let them in. But yeah, we still treat blacks, Hispanics, and natives who've been here for over 600 years like shit. Salakia. But I mean, they treat us like shit, like straight up.
That's right.
And yeah, we still have all this pity for everybody else in the world, but nobody want to show that same pity for us. Now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's the Christian church that has us thinking like that. We're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You understand? For not knowing who the hell we are as a people. God damn them. You understand? Like straight up. Straight up. God damn them.
That's right.
All my tears, and all my sympathy, and all my prayers, and all my stand for is though for my people, blacks, Hispanics, and Natives.
That's right.
I stand for the people on the border.
Right.
That's locked up in cages. I stand for them babies on the border that's locked up in cages.
Right.
I stand for the women on the border that's locked up in cages. I stand up for the indigenous people that's stuck on the reservations, living in straight hell.
Right.
I pray for them. I pray for all the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, or the blacks that are living in the ghettos, all the Mexicans that are living in the barrios and all the hoods and all these dreadful places around this so-called great America, but yet treat us like third, not even second class, treat us like third class citizens over here.
Right.
And we do all the work. We created it. We built this place, and we the third class citizens. But yet, we more worried about what's going on in Ukraine instead of what's going on right here in our own goddamn backyard.
Right.
Like all them different. Have you seen all them different stories about the Ukrainians discriminating against black people over there in Ukraine? Like they discriminating against black people in Ukraine. They showing you they hate you, just like America has been showing they hate you. You understand? Ukraine, Russia, none of these other countries have ever said anything against America and the crimes that America has committed against blacks and Hispanics and indigenous people since 1492, since they came over here. You understand? To hell with them. What we should be doing? Give me Zephaniah 2:1. This is what we should be doing as a people. We should be worried about our goddamn selves.
That's right.
You understand? We should be trying to figure out how we can better ourselves. Every black, Hispanic, and indigenous person here in America or abroad, where we got schools everywhere. You need to ISUPK.com. That ISUPK.com. Find the closest city near you. Call that number. Calling that number will save your goddamn life. That's what every black and Hispanic and Native should be doing during these times. Don't be scared about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Don't be standing for the Ukrainians and praying for the Ukrainians. Feeling bad. Feel bad for your people, because for over 600 years we've been discriminated against, killed, castrated, not only literally but economically as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Feel for your people. You know what I'm saying? Have a little more sorrow and for your people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Worry about your people. When we unite together and come together, that's gonna be a glorious day. Go ahead. Whenever you get there, go ahead. Zephaniah 2:1.
Kind. Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Gather yourselves together. Go ahead.
O nation not desired.
O nation not desired. Who's the only people in this world that's not desired? That's the blacks, Hispanics, and Natives. Because everybody, even when they had war, when it's white on white crime, war over there in another country, they still find time to show they hate black people. They can still find the time to show you, hey, we don't like black people. They running from a whole war. They running from so-called running from war, bombs, and all this, but they can still find the time. Hey nigga, we don't like you.
That's right.
They still find the time for that.
Right.
You understand? Read that again from the top.
Kind. Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea. Gather together. O nation not desired.
Gather yourself together, O nation not desired. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, we need to gather ourselves together. And the only place we can do it is the one body under Christ. That's right here in the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General Yahanna.
Right.
Everybody needs to get on that website, ISUPK.com, and find the nearest class near you and call that goddamn number.
That's right.
You understand? Every other nation is sticking together. They stick to each other. They stick together.
Right.
They stick for one another. We need to be doing the same goddamn thing.
That's right.
Instead of worrying about what the hell they doing with their white on white crime, let's worry about our own goddamn house.
Right.
Let's worry about our own people. Let's worry about our own house. Let's fix our own people. Keep going.
Kind of time. Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass, as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Is that through 3?
So like you said.
Read 3.
Kind of time. Verse 3.
Before the anger of the Lord come upon you, man, gather yourself together with your people. Leave these heathens alone. Damn them. They talk about you know what I'm saying, that black on black crime and let them kill each other. Well, let them kill their goddamn self.
That's right.
Damn them.
That's right.
White on white crime, that's beautiful. That's beautiful in my eyes.
That's right.
Let them get down.
That's right.
Let them get down. Let them get down for their country. Let them get down. They ain't got a goddamn thing to do with us.
That's right.
Man,
Right.
black folks will turn their neck around with some way less than that. I mean, come on, man. Hey, damn them. Let them worry about their own damn problems. That ain't our problem.
That's right.
Go ahead. Is that 3? Finish it. Finish out 3.
Kind of. Verse 3. Seek ye the Lord.
Seek ye the Lord. That's what we need to be doing. Gathering ourselves together and seeking the Lord. Go ahead.
Kind of. All ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness.
We need to seek righteousness. We need to seek them law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
We need to seek. We need to seek one another. We need to seek. Blacks and Hispanics need to come together, gather ourselves together, come back to the Most High, learn these law, statutes, and commandments, and live by that. And let's get out this hell that we living in. Let's enjoy this World War III. Sit back, get your little drink. You understand?
Right.
You understand? Get your little drink. Turn the news on and get some popcorn and sit. Just sit back and watch. It's a beautiful thing. Let it happen. It has to happen for Christ to come back. It has to happen.
That's right.
Let's let it happen. Let's watch. It's bound to happen. It's gonna happen regardless whether America get into war or not. It's gonna happen either way. America can't protect them. America cannot protect Ukraine. Go ahead.
Kind. Verse 3.
America cannot stop this World War III that's finna happen. It's not. They can't do it. They can't stop it.
Right.
They can't stop it. No matter how much black people want to play all that, let's stick up for them, let's do that. No matter how much black folks want to bring this oppressive society back and to oppress your black ass even more. But you know what I'm saying? No matter what you think America is gonna, they're not gonna stop nothing. They're not gonna stop nothing. Keep going.
Kind.
Now, Slocky, go back up to verse 1. You understand? Because if we still think, if you still thinking there's a black, Hispanic, or Native that America has your best interest, I pray you understand this right here. I pray you understand this. Go ahead.
Kind. Zephaniah 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. You understand? America has shown you time and time again, they don't desire you.
Right.
They could care less about you. Every other country has shown you, they don't like your black ass either.
That's right.
You understand? The best thing we can do as black, Hispanics, and indigenous people is gather together. We're the nation that's not desired. Let's gather ourselves together. Go ahead and drop that. Understand? Go to Revelations 11 and 14. Alright? Because, again, America is no different than Russia. You understand?
Right.
You uses the same tactics and warfare to invade other countries, like America did Iraq and Afghanistan, like America did to just get the land to call America, like America did to Mexico when they took Texas.
Right.
You understand? Like America has oppressed blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians for over 600 years, and no other country, no other race, nobody has ever batted an eye against it. Police brutality, you understand? Oppression, the drug war, mass incarceration. You understand?
Right.
The school to prison pipeline. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All these things is a war. It's a war on black people. It's crimes committed against black people, and nobody seems to give a damn about these crimes that's committed against us. You understand? And we as a people seem to look over it, thinking that America still has our best interests, thinking that we Americans, that we live here in this land called America, that we Americans. Well, I pray you understand.
Right.
That's all I pray you now understand. I pray you now understand. Again, America has been in 102 wars since America has started. Let me see my phone real quick. 102 wars. You understand? And a lot of them wars was with the so-called Native American people. You understand? Like what we was going through the 18th century, it was the American Revolutionary War. During the same time, there was the Cherokee American War. At the same time, America was fighting the Cherokee Indians, stealing land from them and slaughtering them. Also, right after was the Northwest Indian War in 1785 to 1793. So again, America's never seen any peace ever since this so-called place where America was so-called founded and created. This place has never seen any peace. The Quasi War, that was between the United States and Great Britain. You know what I'm saying? That was all during the 18th century, 19th century. The first Barbarian War, United States and Sweden. That was our allies against Arab countries. So you got the War of 1812, the Creek War, the First Seminole War, the Arakawa War in Missouri, American Indian War. It was America versus the Arikia, American and Sioux versus Arikia. The Weenie Boga War was another Native American war. The Black Hawk War, another American war. The Texas Revolution, the Second Seminole War. I mean, all these wars. Apache War. America has been at war since the beginning of time, or since the beginning of America. The Third Seminole War, three Seminole Wars. The Utah War, Navajo Wars, a Pig War. Never even heard of that one. American Civil War, and all that was before the American Civil War. All that was before the Civil War for the freedom of black people. All that right there was before, you know what I'm saying, America even thought about saving the Union and thinking about getting rid of slavery to save the Union. All that happened. You know what I'm saying? And then you still the Dakota Wars in 1862. Which was between the United States and the Dakota Sioux Indians, the Colorado War, United States and the Native Indians, Snake War, again, the Native American War, like all these Native American wars, you know what I'm saying, so America could steal this land. I'm saying this place has never seen peace, has never created peace, has seen peace, none of that. America has done none of that. America has always been at war. They take everything by blood. You understand? And that like literally that's no different than what Russia is doing right now. America is no different than Russia. That should have been the title of the class. America is no different than Russia. So lock it. Revelations 11 and 14. When you get there, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. The second woe is past.
The what?
The second woe is past.
The second woe is past. You know what I'm saying? We done read about World War I, World War II. You know, the second woe passed. Go ahead.
And behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Read that again.
Revelation 11.
Just from right there where you was at.
The second woe is past. Behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
The third woe coming quickly. And the Most High came and showed up and showed out for so-called Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Kicking off that war in Afghanistan. Let's give a hand to the Most High for that. He came and showed up and showed out for us. You understand? And that third war, that is coming quickly. It's definitely coming quick. It's already started. You understand? Again, like not long after America left Afghanistan, the Taliban took over. Taliban took over Afghanistan not long after America left. You understand? And the people there now are angry and they're starving. They thought they could trust America. America took money from them and everything. You understand? America thought they could trust America, and America done screwed them over. So they mad at America right now too. Israel and Palestine been at war since Israel became a state in 1948. You understand? They've been at war ever since the fake Jews got their land and was recognized as state. The president of Egypt said that there'll never be no peace over there in that land until because the people left out black and brown and came back white. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's never gonna be peace over there until the people of that land return to that land.
That's right.
Now Russia has gone into to Ukraine, you understand, and invaded Ukraine and trying to take back Ukraine, because Ukraine once used to be part of Russia. And right now, this second article is going to be a little on that history on the Russia and Ukraine. You get that heat. Look. Read it right here. We're gonna get into the little bit of history behind what was going on with Russia, Ukraine, and why Russia invaded Ukraine. Go ahead.
Ukraine's turbulent history since independence from Russia in 1991. A timeline.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ukraine crisis. Here is a timeline of the main events in Ukraine's political history since it won its independence from Moscow in 1991.
Kind of read through it fast too for the sake of time.
Ukraine crisis. Russian. Russian forces fired missiles at several Ukrainian cities and landed troops on its south coast on Thursday, right after Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized what he called a special military operation in eastern Ukraine. Here is the timeline. The main events in Ukraine political history since it won independence from Moscow in 1991. In 1991, Leonid Kravchuk, leader of Soviet Republic of Ukraine, declared independence from Moscow in a referendum and presidential election. Ukrainians approved independence and elect Kravchuk president. 1994, Leonid Kuchma beats Kravchuk in a presidential election deemed largely free and fair by observers. In 1999, Kuchma is re-elected in a vote riddled with irregularities. 2004, pro-Russian candidate Viktor Yanukovych is declared president, but allegations of vote rigging trigger protests in what becomes known as the Orange Revolution, forcing a rerun of the vote. A pro-Western former Prime Minister Viktor Yushchenko is elected president 2005. Yushchenko takes power with promises to lead Ukraine out of its Kremlin's orbit towards NATO and the EU. He appoints former energy company boss Yulia Tymoshenko a prime minister, but after fighting in the pro-Western camp, she is sacked. In 2008, NATO promises Ukraine it will one day join the alliance. 2010, Yanukovych defeats Tymoshenko in a presidential election. Russia and Ukraine clinch a gas pricing deal in exchange for extending a lease for the Russian Navy in a Ukraine Black Sea port. 2013, Yanukovych government suspends trade and association talks with the EU in November, and the opts to revive economic ties with Moscow, triggering months of mass rallies in Kyiv. In 2014, the protests largely focused around Kyiv Maiden Square turned violent. Dozens of protesters are killed. February 2014, the parliament votes to remove Yanukovych, who flees within days. Armed men seize parliament in the Ukraine region of Crimea and raise the Russian flag. Moscow annexes the territory after a March 16 referendum, which allows overwhelming support in Crimea for joining the Russian Federation. April 2014, pro-Russian independence fighting breaks out, which continue sporadically in 2022, despite frequent ceasefires. May 2014, businessman Petro Poroshenko wins the presidential election with a pro-Western agenda. July 2014, a missile brings down passenger plane MH17 en route from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, killing all 298 people on board. Investigators trace back the weapon used to Russia, which denies involvement. 2017, an association agreement between Ukraine and the EU opened markets for free trade of goods and services and visa-free travel to the EU for Ukrainians. 2019, a new Ukrainian Orthodox Church wins formal recognition angering the Kremlin. Former common actor Vladimir Zelensky defeats Poroshenko in a April presidential election on promises to tackle corruption and end the war in eastern Ukraine. His servant of the People Party wins a July parliamentary election. U.S. Presidential Donald Trump asked Zelensky in July to investigate Joe Biden, his rival in the U.S. presidential race, and Biden's son Hunter over possibly business dealings in Ukraine. The call leads to a failed attempt to impeach Trump. March 2020, Ukraine goes into its first lockdown to curb COVID-19. June 2020, the IMF approved a $5 billion lifeline to help Ukraine stave off default during a pandemic-induced recession. January 2021, Zelensky appeals to Biden, now U.S. president, to let Ukraine join NATO. February 2021, Zelensky government imposes sanctions to Viktor Medvedchuk, an opposition leader and the Kremlin's most prominent ally in Ukraine. Spring 2021, Russia masses troops near Ukraine borders in what it says are training exercise. October 2021, Ukraine uses a Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drone for the first time in eastern Ukraine, angering Russia. Autumn 2021, Russia again begins massing troops near Ukraine. December 7, 2021, Biden warns Russia of sweeping Western economic sanctions if it invades Ukraine. December 17, Russia presents detailed secretary demands including a legally binding guarantee that NATO will give up any military activity in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. January 14, a cyber attack warning Ukrainians to be afraid and expect the worst, hits Ukrainian government websites. January 17, Russian forces start arriving in Belarus to the north of Ukraine for joint drills. January 24th, NATO puts forces on standby and reinforces Eastern Europe with more ships and fighter jets. January 26th, Washington presents a written response to Russia's secretary demands, repeating a commitment to NATO's open door policy while offering pragmatic discussions of Moscow concerns. January 28th, President Vladimir Putin says Russia's main security demands have not been addressed. February 2nd, the United States says it will send 3,000 extra troops to Poland and Romania to help shield NATO allies in Eastern Europe from any spillover from the crisis. February 4th, Putin at the Beijing Winter Olympics wins Chinese support for his demand that Ukraine not be allowed to join NATO. February 7th, French President Emmanuel Macron sees some hope for a diplomatic resolution of the crisis after meeting Putin in the Kremlin. Macron then visits Kyiv and praises the same for Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. February 9th, Biden says things could go crazy quickly as the U.S. State Department advises Americans in Ukraine to leave immediately. Other countries also urge their nationals to leave. February 14th, Zelensky urges Ukrainians to fly flags and sing the national anthem in unison on February 16th, a date some Western media says Russia could invade. February 15th, Russia says some of its troops are returning to base after exercises near Ukraine and mocks Western warnings about a looming invasion. Russia's parliament asked Putin to recognize as independence two Russian-backed breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine. February 18th, U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Michael Carpenter, says Russia has probably massed between 169,000 to 190,000 personnel in and near Ukraine. February 19th, Russia's strategic nuclear forces hold exercises overseen by Putin. February 21st, Macron says Biden and Putin have agreed in principle to a summit over Ukraine. In a televised address, Putin said Ukraine is an integral part of Russian history, has never had a history of genuine statehood, is managed by foreign powers, and has a puppet regiment. Putin signs agreements to recognize breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine as independent and order Russian troops there. February 22nd, U.S., U.K., and their allies enact sanctions on Russia's parliament members, banks, and other assets. Germany halts final certification of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that was still waiting for approval. Putin, in a television address, demands Ukraine demilitarize and says that Minsk peace agreement over breakaway republics no longer exists, blaming Kyiv for killing the deal. February 23rd, Russian-backed separatist leaders asked Russia for help in repelling aggression from the Ukrainian army. February 24th, Russian President Putin authorized special military operation in eastern Ukraine and asked Ukrainian forces to lay down their arms in a televised address. Russian forces began missiles and military attacks on Ukrainian forces and air bases, striking areas in major cities. Except for the headline, this story has not been edited by NDTV staff and is published from a syndicate feed.
Alright, so yeah, that's a little brief history on why Russia is trying to invade, or why Russia is invading Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine used to be part of Russia. They the same people. You understand? Russia taking or going in and invading Ukraine is no different than when Mexico or America went in and stole Texas from Mexico. Except Mexico and America weren't the same people. And you know what I'm saying? And Texas was never part of America. It was always Mexico. You understand? So, I mean, again, America is no different. America is no different than Russia. Why they're trying to portray on the news that what Russia is doing is so wrong. That's what America's been doing. America's been doing this. America, this is America. America has made history doing that. You know what I'm saying? America writes history going in and invading other countries. That's how America made their history. You understand? So now, with Ukraine being close to all these NATO territories, you understand? If Putin keep pushing it and keep going west and end up in NATO attacking the NATO territory, then Biden's already said America will enter the war at that point. You know what I'm saying? That World War III will start. America will enter the war at that point. You understand? America has already sent troops over there to the surrounding NATO territories over there in the NATO territories. America's already sent troops and everything over there. Russia's even said that the sanctions that America is putting are acts of war. You know what I'm saying? Like these sanctions that they're doing are acts of war. China not saying anything or putting sanctions on Russia to prevent the invasion, that's also causing up a stir. You know what I'm saying? That's also that's also getting America worried and stirred. You know what I'm saying? Because if Russia and China, you know what I'm saying, when they ally together, then you know what I'm saying, that's good night America. And I mean, all these countries are preparing themselves. All these countries are preparing for war. All these countries are preparing themselves, keeping to themselves, looking out for themselves. Give me Joel 3:1. Joel 3:1, because that's what all these countries are doing. The preparing for war. All these countries are preparing for war.
Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Joel 3:9.
That's a lot.
Joel chapter 3, verse 9.
Joel 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Go ahead. The Gentiles is all these nations that are preparing for war. Go ahead.
Prepare war.
And that's what they're doing. They're preparing war. That's what they're preparing for war. Go ahead. All these heathen nations, they're preparing for war. They are all preparing for war. Go ahead.
Wake up the mighty men.
Hey, they waking up their soldiers. They waking up their armies. They waking up. You know what I'm saying? They waking up their egos. They waking up everything. They preparing for war. Go ahead.
Let all the men of war draw near.
They all drawing near. All them countries and armies. They're all preparing for war. Push the goddamn button. They are preparing to push the goddamn button. Go ahead.
Let them come up.
Let them come. Let them do what they need to do. Let them get busy. Let them handle their business. Let them get busy. Let all these heathen nations, let all they war, all their armies and they war people, let them all come up and get busy. Is that the end on that? You understand? Let them all come up and get busy. Let all these heathens come draw in near war. You know what I'm saying? Let them have at it. Let them get down. God damn it. Let them get down. Go ahead, drop that. Give me Isaiah 26, chapter 26, verse 20. You understand? Because what we should be doing during this time is not worrying about nothing that's going on in Ukraine, because this is UPK Kentucky Monday night history class. You understand? So the only reason why we talking about this World War III and Ukraine and Russia is because it's history, and this is a history class, and that's what we do. You understand? But other than that, I could give a damn about what's going on in Russia,
right?
Or what's happening to the Ukraine, the people in Ukraine. I could give a damn. You understand? Because my people over here getting shot down in the middle of the street. Right. My people over here getting no justice. My people over here could be sitting at home on their goddamn couch and a bra kick their door and shoot them in their own house. Right. That only happen to my people here in America. You understand? My people are stuck down there in American borders in cages, babies stuck in cages on the borders in America. You understand? Then the people that I'm worried, them that I care about. That the Haitian people that brothers down in Texas went to Acuña, Mexico to go feed our Haitian brothers and sisters because America nor Mexico wanted to have anything to do with them. But the I.S.U.P.K under Commander GEN.YAHANNA love our people, and we went down there to help our people. Right. You understand? I could give a damn about what's going on in Russia. The only reason why I'm talking about it right now because it's a history class, and that's what we do. We talk about history, and that's part of history. You understand? And World War III, that's history. World War II, all these wars that America's been in, that's history. This is a history class. That's why we're talking about it. But other than that, I could give a damn about what's going on over there. You understand? Let them get down. Let that white on white crime go. Let them get down. Let them do what they got to do. Let's worry about our people over here. Right. Let's worry about how we get that goddamn knee off our neck, so we can return back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and get out this hell that we living in. That's what I care about. I can give a damn about what's going on over there in Russia or Ukraine. I can give a damn about them people. Goddamn them people.
That's right.
Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
Khan. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people.
Come, my people. More I'm talking to. Come, my people. This is what I want y'all to do, my people. Go ahead.
Enter thou into the chambers.
Go to your houses. Go ahead.
And shut thy doors about thee.
Shut your door. Don't worry about what's going on over there in Russia. Don't worry about what them Ukrainian people. Don't worry about them. Go ahead.
Khan. Hide thyself.
Hide yourself from them. Don't worry about them. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about nothing that's going on over there. Go ahead.
As it were for a little moment.
Just hide yourself for a little moment. You know what I'm saying? Cause we are sympathetic people, and we do care about others, and you know what I'm saying. So hide yourself for a little minute. Don't worry about what's going on out here. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Until the indignation be overpassed.
Till the destruction be overpassed. Go ahead.
Verse 21. For behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place.
The Most High coming out of his place. Go ahead.
To punish the inhabitants of the earth.
To punish the heathens of this earth for the hell and the oppression and the murder and the rape and the pillaging of the God's chosen people, the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
To punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity.
For their sins. To punish them for their sins. Because right now, the oppressor ain't getting punished when they commit war crimes against the Lord's chosen people. Nothing happens to anybody. Right. You understand? And these are war crimes being committed against the Lord's chosen people. You understand? What's going on in Ukraine right now with Russia? You finished with that? Go ahead, finish that out.
The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
And the earth ain't gonna no more be able to cover that up, man. The earth can't cover that up no more. You know what I'm saying? The sick and vile and disgusting things that the earth does to the Lord's chosen people. They're not gonna be able to hide that no more. You understand? What's going on over there in Russia or Ukraine right now with Russia? That's white on right crime. We shouldn't give a damn about that. Let them get down. Let them do what they gotta do. You understand? World War III has to happen. You understand? It has to happen for Christ to return. Everybody talking about they want Christ to return, but everybody's scared about the war that's gonna happen. You understand?
Right.
For Christ to return, this war has to happen. These things have to happen. Has to happen. Wars and rumors of wars, but this is not the end yet. To get to that end, this is one of the things that has to happen. You understand? And again, we have our own problems to fix. Let's not worry about what's going on over there in Russia. Let's fix what's going on in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's fix what's going on in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's fix what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. Right. Let's fix what's going on in New York. Let's fix what's going on in Philly, Baltimore, California. You know what I'm saying? Let's fix what's going on for our people where we at right here in America.
Right.
You understand? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the class to Trooper Zabat with the security announcements.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a peculiar person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which means commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:18, Malachi 3:8-10 means 10th in Hebrew. Ma'asherah, 10% of every penny of increase that Yahweh gives you. Give to general, Mayaka Allah, or a teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for a priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like. And this is the end of class.